Hello everyone. Let us see different uses of smart object in Photoshop. So let us start. So the first use of smart object is to preserve the pixels and maintain the resolution of the image. So let us see with an example. So here we have an image of a bird. So let me scale this image. Right now the image is not a smart object. So let's scale the image. So now the image is scaled to a very small size. Now let's make the image big. See, we can see here the image has lost its resolution. What is the solution for it? So we have to scale the images a lot of times in Photoshop, but we don't want to lose their quality. We don't want to damage the quality of the image. We want to maintain the quality of the image. So for that, we need to convert the image to a smart object. So let's try once again. Just go back. So we are back to the original image. Now we will convert the image to a smart object. So simply right click on the layer, and here we have an option, convert to smart object. We can see a small icon over here. Now let us resize the image. So let me make it small just like before. I have made the image very small, and now let's make the image big again. So we can see here we have absolutely preserved the quality of the image. So the resolution of the image is intact. So this is the first use of smart object. Smart objects can be used to maintain or preserve the resolution or quality of the image. Let us see what is the next big use of a smart object. So here we have an image of a house. So let me make it small. And what I want to do is, I want to take copies of this particular house. So here I have taken multiple copies of this particular house. So now what I intend to do is, I want to put a caption or a title on this particular image. Means I want a title on each and every copy of this house image. So how I can do? So if I want to put it on a single one, it's very easy. I will just type beautiful house, and I will just increase the size of this text. And if I want to put this particular text on a single image, it's very easy. But if I want to put the same text on these copies also, so what I can do is, I have to duplicate the text. So I have to simply hold Alt and create a duplicate of the text. And again I have to create one more duplicate to place the text on this third image. And again I have to take one more duplicate of the text and place it on this fourth image. And one more duplicate to place it on this fifth image. So if you have, let's say, 30 or 40 images, you have to duplicate the text on each and every image. And if you merge both the text and the image, you won't be able to edit the text again. So what we can do is, instead of duplicating the text and the image separately, we can find a simple and easy solution here. So we don't have to take these many duplicates of images and then also take these many duplicates of the text. So let's see what is the simple procedure. So I am again coming back. So I will start taking duplicates of this house image again, but this time I will convert the image to a smart object. So simply right click on the image layer and select convert to smart object. Now this house image is converted to a smart object. Now let us take the duplicates of this house image. Right. So let me take, let us say 12 duplicates. So we will create 12 duplicates. So here we have. Now we want to put a caption on each of this image. So instead of typing a caption and duplicating the caption and placing it on each and every image, which is a very tedious job, so we can just double click on a single image. Let me double click on a single image. So if we double click on a single image, we can see a new document. Here the smart object has opened a new document for us. This is the editable document. Here we can do whatever changes we want to the image, and those changes will be updated. So let me just type the text over this house image. So I have just typed the word beautiful house, and in case we want to apply some layer style to this, we can also apply simple layer style to this particular image. Right. So now what we'll do is, we will simply go to file and we will select save. Saving is very important. So just we will save the image. Right. So once we have saved the image, we can check here. See, this has saved a lot of our time. So I have just placed the text on a single image. That's it. I have just double clicked one single image and opened a new document, and then in that particular new document I have put the text. That's it. And the text is now visible on all images. So this will save a lot of our time. And we'll do one more thing. We will put a logo or a stamp logo, and let us see whether the stamp logo will also be visible on all images or not. So just like before, we will just select this particular editable image, which gets opened when you just double click on the smart object. And now we will just open a logo here. So let me open a logo. Here we have a stamp logo. Just simply open it, and we will just drag this one and place it over here. So we can scale it down. So we'll just keep it over here. Right. And now we will save the file. So simply go to file and save, and let's see whether we got the changes. We can see here, see, the logo is also now visible on all images. This is another a very important use of smart object. So in this way we can just edit a single image and those changes will be applied on all its duplicates. So it will save a lot of our time. We can also use smart objects as smart filters. So how we can use smart objects as smart filters? So before starting the smart filters, first let us see why we have to use the smart filters. So let's start with this example. So here we have an image of a crowd. What we want to do is, we want to show this particular person and blur out all the remaining people in this image. So what we can do is, without using a smart object or without using smart filters, we can use the lasso tool, we can use the basic selection tools, and we can accomplish that. So let's see how we can do that. So here what I will do is, I will just draw a selection around this person, and let me also give some small amount of feather. So let's give feather radius as 4, and now we will inverse the selection. To inverse the selection, we can simply use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl Shift I in PC and Command Shift I in Mac. Right. So now we have inverted the selection, and then what we'll do is, we will go to filter and we'll select blur and we will apply Gaussian blur, and we can see here. So what we have done is, we have just selected this person using the lasso tool, and we have inverted the selection and we have blurred out the people. Now this person is clearly visible, but the remaining people are not clearly visible, they are blurred out. But then what I want to do is, I want to actually increase the blur value. So what I can do to increase the blur value, normally I can only do one thing, that is just use the undo command. I can simply hit Ctrl Z or Command Z in Mac, and I can go back and I can apply the filter again. So this time I can increase the filter radius, the Gaussian blur radius. So I can do like this, and if I again feel like reducing the value of Gaussian blur, once again I have to use Ctrl Z in PC or Command Z in Mac and go back and then start all over again. And again I have to inverse the selection, and I have to go to filter, I have to just select blur, Gaussian blur, and reduce the radius value. So this is a time consuming, and also this is not a comfortable or convenient method of working. So instead we can create smart filters. If we create smart filters, the smart filters appear inside our layers panel, and we can directly control the filter from the layers panel. So let me demonstrate. So what we'll do is, first we will just come back to the original image. We will convert this image to a smart object. Simply right click on the image, and here we have the option convert to smart object, and we can see a small icon here. Right. Now we will go to filter, we'll just go to blur, and we will select Gaussian blur. So this time I will just increase the Gaussian blur value and then simply click OK. And we can see something special here. We can see some change in the layers panel. So what we can observe is, here we can see a thumbnail and we can see smart filters here, and also we can see the Gaussian blur filter, the filter that we have applied over the image. We can see here. We can directly control this filter from the layers panel. It can happen only if you convert the image to a smart object. So just double click on this Gaussian blur and we can reduce the value. See, you don't have to go to the filter menu again, or you don't have to go use the undo command or back command and control the filter. You can directly control the filter from the layers panel. We can either increase it or decrease it. Right. And if we want to hide the filter, we can also hide the filter. See, it's very easy. And we can again reduce the radius value for this filter. And another interesting thing that we can do is, see, here we have a mask thumbnail. So we can make use of this mask thumbnail. We can simply select this thumbnail and we can select a brush. We can select a soft rounded brush, and what we can do is, just like before, we want to highlight this person. We have to use the black color and paint black over this person. But before that, make sure that you have selected the mask thumbnail for this particular filter. And we can see here. See, it's so simple. Now this person is clearly visible and the remaining people are blurred out. And in case we want to apply the effect over some of the other persons, so here we can see a person is visible here. So we can just swap this colors. We can keep white as the foreground color and then simply paint over these persons. We can only highlight this particular person. And another good thing that we can do is, we can invert this mask. So to invert the mask, we can use Ctrl I in PC and Command I in Mac. So simply select the thumbnail, the mask thumbnail for this particular filter, and simply hit Ctrl I or Command I. See here. So this person is now blurred out and the remaining people are clearly visible. And if we want to inverse it again, so we can inverse it again. Simply we can hit Ctrl I or Command I. See here. Let's try smart filters on this particular image. Simply we will right click on this image and first we will convert it into a smart object. And let us apply a different filter. And we'll go to stylize, and here we have extrude. And let us simply click OK. So here we can see. And we can repeat the filter 2 times or 3 times. So we'll just go to filter, and here we have the option extrude. We can also use the keyboard shortcut Alt Ctrl F in PC and option Command F in Mac. Simply we can click the extrude filter. Right. So we can see here. And if we want to see the red car clearly, we can just select this thumbnail, the mask thumbnail that is created for this smart filter, and we will select the brush. We'll select the soft rounded brush and we will paint only over this red car, and make sure that the black is in the foreground. The black color is in the foreground, and we can see here. So we can create some nice interesting effects with smart filters. So you can see here. And if we want to reduce the extrude value, or if we want to hide the extrude filter, we can simply hide. Here we can see we can hide the extrude filter, and we can hide one more extrude filter, see here. And again, if we want to turn on, we can just turn on the extrude filters, and also we can change the value for this extrude filter. Simply double click on this extrude option so that this extrude dialog appears, and here we can put any of the values. So we can just put 40 in the size input field and simply click OK. So you can see here. And we can also inverse the filter. So simply select the thumbnail, the mask thumbnail for the smart filter, and we'll hit Ctrl I in PC or Command I in Mac. We can see here. So this is the use of smart filters. We can also use smart objects to create smart adjustments. So let us see how we can do that. Here we have an image of a landscape. So what we'll do is, we'll simply go to image, we'll select adjustment, and here we have some adjustments. So first let us select these curves. And what we'll do is, we will simply just create a point over here, and we will just brighten up the entire image. See, now it looks like a mid-afternoon scene, right? So now we have brightened up the entire scene. But let us say I don't want the entire scene to be lit up, or to brighten the entire scene. I want only some areas of the image to be bright, and the remaining areas to be a little bit shady. So how we can do that? We can do that by using smart adjustments. We can just simply create a mask option for the adjustment. So how we can do that? So without using a smart object, if we have to do, so let's do without using the smart object first. So what we can do is, we can just select the lasso tool, and we can just draw a selection, and in this way we can just draw a selection, and we will give some feather value to this particular selection. So let's give a value of, let's say, 15, and now we will just go to image adjustments, and here we have the option curves. So let's increase the value. So we can see here. So now the right side portion is bright. It's very sunny. But the left side portion is not so sunny. The left side portion is shady, but we want the left side portion to be more shady. So in order to accomplish that, we cannot do it using these lasso tools. It's not a convenient way of doing. So what we'll do is, we will convert the image to a smart object. So let's come back, and let's come back to the original image, and in the layers panel we will simply right click on the image and we'll convert it into smart object. So we can see the smart object icon here, right? Now we will simply go to image, select adjustments, and here we have curves, and we will again increase the brightness. Now again the entire image is lit up, the entire image is bright, but we only want one side of the image to be bright, the other side has to be shady. So how we can do that? See, this time we have converted the image to a smart object. So here we can see the smart filter thumbnail. So you can see here. So I can simply select a brush, just like how we have used for filters. For adjustments also, we can just remove the effect from one part or one portion of the image. So select a soft rounded brush and make sure that black is the foreground color, and let me actually remove the effect from the left side. So we can see now the left side looks more shady, the right side looks very bright or bright and sunny. And we can also control the curves adjustment from this layers panel. Here we can see we can either hide the curves, or we can just double click on these curves to open the curves dialog, and we can just increase or decrease the curves effect or the curves values. So you can see here. We can also invert the mask. Simply select the thumbnail and we can either hit Ctrl I or Command I. See, now the left side area looks sunny and the right side area looks shady. So we'll see one more example with one more adjustment. So we'll go to image, adjustment, and we'll select hue and saturation. So but before that we will convert the image to a smart object. So here we can see the icon. So we'll just go to image, adjustment, and select hue and saturation. Right. And we'll pick this particular color. So here we have a color picker. Just click on that and we'll just pick that particular color. Here we can see reds. So we can just change the hue value to change the color of the car. So we can see here. So we are just changing the color of the car. So we can see right now we can see a pink color car, and if we keep moving the sliders we can see different colors of car. But along with the car we can also see the background, the sky, and also the ground is also changing. The ground and the sky also have the colors which are present in the car. So that is why even the sky and the ground is also getting affected. So let us say we only want the car's color to change. We don't want the color of the sky or the ground to change. So what we can do is we can first confirm the color, and then we'll simply click OK, and we can see the thumbnail here. So we'll just select the thumbnail, which is the smart filter thumbnail, and we can select a brush. We'll select a soft rounded brush, and we will remove the hue effect or the hue saturation effect from the sky as well as from the ground. We only want the hue saturation effect on the car. It should affect only the car. So in this way we can erase the effect from other parts of the image. So we can see here. And we can just double click on this hue and saturation, and we can try some other colors. See, we can try this blue color, we can try the pink color or any other color. So now we have an orange color car, and we can also control these saturation values. If you want a dark orange color car, we can increase the saturation, or if you want a light orange color car, we can reduce the saturation, and we can also inverse this mask. But let's inverse it again, because we want to change only the color of this particular car. Right. So this is how smart object can be used. There are many uses of smart object, and smart objects are going to simplify our task. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.